Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Master Your Life podcast. I'm trying something new today, and I'm going to record this live on video. Normally, I do it just the audio version, so you don't necessarily see me, but here I am. So let me know if you like this format. It's going to be up on YouTube, and you can check it out there, or you can always still tune in via iTunes or Spotify, however you listen to the Master Your Life podcast episode, that will obviously still be available to you. So I'll put all the links in the show notes of where you can find the podcast in case you are new. And if you are, then welcome. I'm so thrilled that you're here with me today and you decided to tune in. And if we've been hanging out for a while, then it's good to see you, and I'm glad that you're also here. So thank you. So I put a poll up on my Instagram yesterday, I think it was, and I asked what topic you wanted to hear about on the next podcast episode. And it was either money or relationships. And it was an overwhelming money. So here we are. So if you're not following me on social media, I hang out most of the time on Instagram. You can find me at Julie C. Kelly. And I'm also on Facebook at facebook.com/I'm Julie C. Kelly. So check out my links there and connect with me there. Love to hear from you. Love to hear about what you thought about the podcast episode. So let's get into it. So what I decided to do, since we're in a very precarious economic situation, I thought I would do a series of podcast episodes featuring money as the central topic. So today's topic is really about taking control of your money and taking inventory and assessing your current financial situation. Because I think what happens for most people that are in a corporate job or a 9-to-5 gig, our paychecks come in, right, monthly, fortnightly, and it's sort of on autopilot. We just know that money's coming in, it gets direct deposited to our accounts, and we forget about it. And we don't necessarily check in with what's happening with that money. And so if you want to have strong financial success, you have to be on top of your money game. And if you want to control your finances, you have to know your numbers, right? So taking inventory and taking stock of where your finances are is extremely important if you want to get ahead financially. So the first thing is that you have to know how much money is coming in to your household and how much is going out of your household. And most people, believe it or not, really don't have a handle on this. If I was to ask you today, how much money comes in every month and how much money goes out every month, would you know? Like that? Could you tell me exactly? Most people cannot. Like the coming in, yeah, we kind of get that, but the going out, that's a different situation. And so it's really important to know both of those numbers, because if you don't know your numbers, how are you going to control your money, and how are you going to create financial wealth for yourself? Not even financial wealth, just how you're just going to create financial health for yourself, right? So let's start with the health before we even get to the wealth. So today I'm going to give you 3 money tips to ensure you start getting crystal clear on your financial situation. And then once you know what your financial situation looks like, you're then able to make changes to improve your money game. Does that sound good? Okay, let's dive in. So the first thing is you have to know how much total net income. By net income, I mean how much money comes in after taxes and after all your deductions, how much net income is coming into your household, and how much total money is going out on a monthly basis. Okay. Now, to make this process easier for you, I've created a budget template that you can download for free. And it allows you to literally plug in how much money you earn and how much money you spend on a monthly basis. And it's all the big ticket items such as rent, mortgage, insurances, food, utilities, all of those big ticket items, as well as the smaller items that can quickly add up that we don't normally really think about. We don't pay them enough attention, but added up, they can quickly total a lot of money outgoing from your account. So if you want to download that template, it's for free. Just simply go to juliecelly.com/budget template, and you'll be able to download the budget template there. I'll also put this link in the show notes so you don't have to scramble worrying about it now. So the beauty of this template that I've created for you is that it will give you at the bottom of the template, does all the math for you. You don't have to work it out yourself. It'll give you a number, and that will be your total balance at the end of each month. Now, you'll either be in the red or the black. Now, the black is where you want to be. That means you still have a positive balance. Now, if you're in the red, that means you're in a negative balance. And that is the time to start really taking stock of where you're at with your finances. Because if you're in the red month after month after month, that means that you're spending more than you earn. And that is never the way to get financial wealth and financial freedom. So if you are in the red, meaning you spend more than you earn and you actually have a negative balance at the end of each month, you have two choices available to you. The first is obviously earn more money, right? You have to earn more money if you're spending more than you earn. Or your second option is to decrease your expenditure. Now, a lot of people don't like this idea, but if you're not making enough money to cover all your expenses and still have a positive balance at the end of the month, then you have to do this. It's as simple as that. So I actually had a podcast episode, and again, I'll link it in the show notes, on exactly how to make more money right now in a recession or in an economic downturn. So if you want to check that out, go and listen to that podcast episode. But I'm going to give you sort of like the footnote version of what I mentioned in that for this particular point. So if you are in a situation where you have to earn more money, so there are a couple of options available to you. Obviously, you can get a part-time job. And that part-time job is literally going to cover the expenses that you are not able to cover with the current income that you are earning, okay? The other way you can also make more money is by selling your skills online through sites like Fiverr.com, Odesk.com, Upwork.com. So these are sites that allow individuals to basically sell their services, sell their expertise, sell their skills. So you could be like a virtual assistant and provide administrative services to entrepreneurs or online companies that don't require you to go to a brick and mortar facility. These are awesome opportunities, and you can do them from the comfort of your home. And you don't have to be just an administrative sort of person. You can be a creative person. There are like sort of design and marketing opportunities. There are literally thousands of different work opportunities that you can sell on an hourly basis or on a project basis on these websites and get paid for your skills in your free time. So you can bid for jobs and people can pay you for your expertise. So go and check that out. They're really cool sites if you've got different skills that you want to share outside of your 9-to-5 or corporate gig. The other things that you can do is like, you need to start getting creative and resourceful, right? So if you need to make more money, then what about driving for Uber or driving for Grubhub and those sorts of companies? You can even take online surveys. And I talked about that in that previous podcast episode where I really deep dived into different areas and different ways that you can make money right now, today. And most of them don't even involve leaving your house. So if you're still in quarantine, that's a really good option for you. So like I said, I'll link that in the show notes. But you do need to start making some more money if that's an option for you. Like I said, the other alternative is to decrease or eliminate your expenses. And that is actually my second tip for you today. So decreasing your expenditure, decreasing the amount of money that's going out of your bank account every single month. So once you've completed your budget, and like I said, I really encourage you to go and download the budget template that I created for you because it takes all the hard work out for you. You need to meticulously go through the outgoings, the expenditure, and see where you can make some cuts. And this is going to be time for sacrifice. Like I said, if you're in the red or if you're not having a positive balance or if you don't have as much money at the end of the month that really want to have, it's time to make some sacrifice. You need to make some budget cuts. It's as simple as that, unless you can quickly increase your income. So you need to go through and look at your budget and look at where you're spending money and see where you can start making some cutbacks. And the other thing that you should do is look through your monthly bank statements. Now, I went through my monthly bank statements randomly one day, and I saw that there was a check withdrawal out of my account for about $1,800. And I knew straight away that that was not something that I had authorized. So I quickly got on the phone to my bank and asked them about it. And it was a mistake. So the bank teller had to manually enter the routing number, and she made a mistake. She's human. And she put in my routing number. And so that check came out of my bank account instead of somebody else's bank account. So it's really important that you go through your bank accounts at least once a month, if not, do it at least once a quarter, and meticulously go through every single input and output. So every deposit and every withdrawal, and make sure that they are correct. And if anything looks odd or out of place, call your financial institution and verify it with them, because you could be losing money that isn't meant to be coming out of your bank account. So that's something else that you really need to do. The other idea, or the other thing that you should be doing if you're in a position where you need to make some cutbacks on your expenditure, is to pull out all your insurance policies, like your car insurance, home insurance, landlord insurance, business insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, all the insurances that you have, and review the policies and read the fine print. It's really important that you do this. Now, I get it. It's like tedious and really, really boring to go through insurance policies. But when you do look at them, one of the questions that you need to ask yourself is, do I have too much coverage, or perhaps I don't have enough coverage? Now, obviously, if you don't have enough, then that's going to end up costing you more ultimately, because you'll have to increase your premium. But if that's the case, it's going to save you money in the long run, because if you don't have enough coverage and you need to put in a claim, you're going to potentially be out of pocket. So that's something to think about. But most people actually have too much coverage, and you actually could have more coverage than what you need. And that means that your premium and potentially your deductible is way higher than it needs to be for your specific situation. So like I said, you need to really look through them and ask yourself, do I need this type of premium? Because what happens is that the insurance companies, they like to put the fear of God into us, and they sell us like the Rolls-Royce premium when we may not need that much coverage. Maybe we just need like the Toyota version of the premium, not the Rolls-Royce version, right? So the only way you're going to know is to meticulously go through your premiums, read them, understand how much coverage you have, and then if you can, see if you can bundle all of your insurance policies with one company. And in doing so, what will happen is that you'll be able to get a discount, because of course every insurance company wants to have as many policies with each individual, rather than they have like each individual have their insurance policies spread amongst different insurance companies. So in bundling and having all of your insurances with one company, you're able to haggle and negotiate on your premium and really get the highest level of discounts available to you, as opposed to having your car insurance with one company, your home insurance with another company, and your health insurance with somebody else. That way you're paying the highest premiums and you're getting the lowest discounts. So now is the time to negotiate. Now is the time to haggle with insurance companies. And if you don't want to bundle, or if you have insurance policies that you don't want to move because you've just been a loyal customer with that particular company, it doesn't hurt to get on the phone and just ask them for a discount. Right now is the time to ask for a discount, because they would rather give you a discount and keep you as a customer, rather than you taking your policy and going to another company because you just simply can't afford their premiums. And the truth is if you have been a long-term customer with an insurance company, they will most likely give you a discount. But the problem is most of us don't ask. We just don't ask for these discounts. We just get the premium, we pay it every year. And again, that whole autopilot thing kicks in and it costs us unnecessary money when we could be saving. So that was point number 2, okay? Another way that you can start to decrease your expenditures every single month is to cancel any monthly ongoing charges that you don't need or you're not using anymore, okay? So it's time to get honest with yourself and ask yourself, are you really using that gym membership or are you simply paying every single month for nothing? So if you are, cancel that policy, cancel that membership. How about your parking space at work? Do they charge you even though you're not there at the moment? Because they most likely are. If you have to pay for parking at work and you're not actually allowed to go to work and you're still at home telecommuting, check your pay slip, because my guess is that they're still going to charge you for that. And you should cancel that right now if you are not going into the office, okay? How about magazines and newspaper subscriptions? Do you need them? If you're in the red, then the answer is probably no. And then how about all those other lovely love to haves, nice to haves, things like monthly product boxes. You know, those boxes that come filled with lots of goodies that you get on the monthly or quarterly basis. If you subscribe to that and you're in the red, that needs to go. That's a nice to have. It's not a need to have. It's something that's just costing you money when really you can't even afford it. So cancel that subscription. Another thing that again is on autopilot that costs us money that we don't necessarily check in with are our cable TV subscriptions. So do you need cable TV? Do you also have Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime and all of those things? You're paying for each and every one of those. When, again, think about bundling. Do you need all of them? I know you probably want all of them, but do you need all of them? Because they're all costing you money. So think about which one do you use the most, and then eliminate and cancel all those other ones just for now. Like I said, this is a time where you're going to need to make some sacrifices. It's not forever. It's just for right now so that you can get on top of your money game, so that you can get out of the red, out of the negative, and into a positive balance every single month. That should be your goal right now. And if that means making some sacrifices, like getting rid of your gardener, getting rid of your housekeeper, so be it. I'm so sorry, but it's time to make some sacrifices. And the other thing that I want to tell you about eliminating expenses, and this is such a trap for so many people, is to stop using your credit cards. You need to eliminate your credit card debt to begin with. And that's a topic in of itself, but stop using your credit cards, only use them for emergencies, only use them for online expenses that you absolutely need, and start paying for things with cash. Because when you see the cash in your hands and you're going to hand it over to buy something, your psychology is completely different to when you just hand over your plastic credit card, because that doesn't have any monetary value when we look at it. But when you see hard-earned cold cash in your hand and you're about to give it over and maybe get some change, some coins back, if you're going to get anything back, it really starts to really play with your psychology, and you simply start to consider, do you need to make that purchase? Do you need to buy whatever it is that you're about to buy? And buying with cash is a really good way to start cutting back on your expenses. Okay, that was point number 2. Eliminating and decreasing unnecessary expenses. Okay. Point number 3, the final tip for today, is to understand your taxes. Now, most people do not even know what income tax bracket they are currently in. Do you know? Do you know right now what income tax bracket you are currently in? If you do not know, you have some homework to do. This is absolutely crucial, because you have to know what bracket you're in, because that will determine how much you get taxed and how much money gets taken away from your monthly or bi-weekly paycheck. So you absolutely need to know this. And if you don't know, then ask your tax accountant. ask your payroll officer at work. They will most likely be able to tell you. You have to know your numbers. It's super important in order to get on top of your money game. Now, in order to understand what income tax bracket you're in is really important for another reason. It's because you need to know what your allowable deductions are. Now, if you get a tax bill at tax time, at the end of the tax year, you are either earning a lot of money, and that's normal, and that's good. So if you're earning a lot of money, you're most likely going to have a tax bill at the end of the year. That's as simple as that. It's just the way it is. Or you are either in a lower income tax bracket and you don't know how to write off deductibles. You don't know how to write off tax expenses so that you can actually get a refund at the end of the tax year. And you need to learn what these are. So one of the best ways to get a tax refund at the end of a year is to contribute to your retirement or your superannuation account. If you're not doing this, if you're not contributing to your retirement account, you absolutely must start doing this immediately, because most companies will actually match up to 6% of your salary back into your retirement account. That means you're getting free money into your retirement account from your employer. Now, the best benefit of putting into your retirement account, outside of obviously having money for your retirement, is that it's a huge tax deduction. The more you put in, the more you're going to get back at tax time. Right now, you're allowed to put in up to $19,500 of your annual salary into your retirement account. And that goes in pre-tax. So what that means is that you will get a tax deduction come tax time. So if you don't know if you're doing this or not, there's two things that you can do. Like I said, you can connect with your payroll person at work and ask them, and they'll tell you if you are or not. The second thing is to call your company, your retirement company, the retirement or superannuation company that your employer is associated with, and ask them. You can set up a time, an appointment to speak with a retirement expert, and they will go through everything that you need to know about saving for your retirement, the different types of retirement plans that your employer is offering you, and which is the best one for you, because there are different plans. And depending on how old you are, depending on how many more working years you have left, and depending on your tax situation and how much money you need for retirement, will determine which retirement plan you should be putting into. So this is not something that you need to necessarily know yourself, but you do need to connect with the right people. You should absolutely make an appointment with somebody at your retirement account company and ask them these questions. What retirement plans are available to me? How much should I be putting in based on my income? And what type of allocations should I be putting my money into? So there are different types of allocations. You can put your retirement money into things like real estate, cash, bonds, stocks. Now, mutual funds, things like that. You don't need to know what these necessarily mean, but you need to connect with somebody who does. And like I said, each and every company, retirement company, superannuation company, they have experts available to you for free, and they will go through this with you. Another person that you should connect with is your tax accountant. They will know what you should be doing. And if you've been consistently paying taxes, then you probably need to get in contact with a better tax accountant. Because like everything, there are really good tax accountants and there are really lousy tax accountants. So you need to connect with somebody that's really good, that understands the tax laws for the country that you live in. And if you don't know a good one, then ask for other people's like referrals. The best way to get connected with somebody is through word of mouth. If somebody that you know, a friend, a colleague, maybe somebody at work, a family member has a good tax accountant, ask for their contact details and ask around, go onto Yelp, go onto Google reviews, see what other people have to say. Don't just take their word for it. Like, you have to do some due diligence. You have to put in some work. This is not easy, but getting on top of your money game is something that should absolutely be a priority for you. And I don't care if you're 19 years old or if you're 49 years old listening to this. If you don't know your numbers, if you don't know how much money you earn and how much money goes out of your account every single month, if you don't understand your insurance policies, if you don't understand your taxes, your retirement plans, now is the time to get crystal clear, because without knowing these numbers, you are setting yourself up for failure. And yeah, they're not necessarily exciting. They're kind of bland, but they are the difference between being comfortable, being financially successful, being wealthy, and we know what the other option is. And we're not even going to mention it because we're not even going to go down that track. Okay. So I've given you 3 different tips today. And like I said, this is going to be the first of several money-related podcast topics that I'm going to share with you, because now I think more than ever, it's really important for you to get on top of your money game, for you to understand what your financial situation is and to start to educate yourself. So if you have enjoyed this podcast episode, please go ahead and rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast and share it with somebody else that you know needs to hear this message. It's really important that we collectively bring each other together and educate one another right now so that nobody's left behind. So my friends, that's it for today's podcast topic. I hope you were able to, resonate with at least one of the tips that I gave you. And like I said, and like I say in everything that I do, knowledge without implementation equals nothing. So it's important that you understand what I just shared with you. Listen to the podcast episode again if you have to, and then choose at least one area that you have to work on. And like I said, if nothing else, go ahead and download the budget template that I made especially for you. And again, you can download that at juliecelli.com/budget template. All right, my friends, I'm sending you much love, many blessings, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.